Pope Tagle's Blessed Ascension, the crowning moment of the first Filipino Pope. In the heart of the ancient city of Rome, a moment unfolded that would resonate through history. The Vatican, with its centuries-old traditions, was about to witness a change that would touch millions of lives across the globe. The sound of bells ringing echoed through the cobbled streets of St. Peter's Square as a new chapter was about to be written in the history of the Catholic Church. The Filipino people had waited for this day for years, and now it was finally here. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle had been elected as the 266th Pope of the Roman Catholic Church. His ascension marked not only a milestone in the Church's history, but also a defining moment for the Philippines, a nation with deep Catholic roots. As the white smoke billowed from the chimney of the Sistine Chapel, signaling the election of a new pope, the world watched in eager anticipation. The historic decision had been made by the College of Cardinals, who had gathered to deliberate and pray for days, seeking the divine guidance that would lead them to choose a successor. That white smoke, drifting into the blue Roman sky, was the signal that the Church had a new leader. The decision was not only about selecting a figurehead, but about choosing a shepherd for the spiritual journey of over 1 billion Catholics around the world. The announcement was not just news. It was a sign of hope, a symbol of unity and a beacon for the future of the Church. For the people of the Philippines, this was an extraordinary moment. The joy was palpable, spilling out onto the streets, of Manila and across the islands. The country's deep faith was on full display as people celebrated the election of a native son as Pope. Flags waved, songs rang through the streets, and prayers of thanksgiving filled the air. It was a day of immense pride, not only for the Filipino people, but for the entire Catholic world. Luis Antonio Tagle, the Archbishop of Manila, had always been a man of deep faith and humility. Born in 1957 in the bustling city of Manila, Tagle was raised in a devout Catholic family, where his parents instilled in him the values of service, compassion, and faith. From a young age, Tagle showed a natural empathy and a passion for helping those in need. His life was marked by a commitment to social justice and a deep love for the Church and its teachings. It was no surprise that his journey took him from the streets of Manila to the hallowed halls of the Vatican. Tagle's journey to the papacy was not an easy one. His life had been filled with moments of sacrifice, dedication, and unwavering commitment to the Church's mission. He became known not only for his theological knowledge, but also for his ability to connect with people on a deeply personal level. Whether it was a small village in the Philippines or a gathering of world leaders, Tagle's compassion and warmth transcended language and cultural barriers. He was a man who understood the importance of empathy in his ministry, always seeking to bridge gaps and foster understanding among people from different walks of life. His dedication to the marginalized and the oppressed was a defining feature of his leadership. Tagle did not just speak about helping the poor, he lived it. He was known for his tireless work in community outreach, organizing events and programs that would provide support to the less fortunate. His voice became a powerful advocate for the voiceless, and his efforts did not go unnoticed. As a theologian, he was respected for his ability to engage with complex issues of faith in a way that was accessible and meaningful to people at all levels of society. His academic work, his public lectures, and his writings all reflected his passion for understanding and deepening the connection between faith and the real world. As the Archbishop of Manila, Tagle was a beloved figure. His leadership style was one of humility and service. He took the time to meet with his parishioners, offering them not only spiritual guidance, but also a genuine personal connection. His people knew that they were not just another face in the crowd, but valued members of a faith community. Tagle was a leader who led by example, living out the values he preached. And now that leadership was about to take on a global scale. The election of Tagle as Pope was more than just a personal triumph for him. It was a recognition of the global nature of the Church and the diverse backgrounds of its followers. For the Filipino people, the election of a native son was a moment of deep spiritual significance. It was a powerful reminder that the Church was not confined to Europe or the West, but was a truly global institution with a rich diversity of voices. As the first Filipino Pope, Tagle carried with him the hopes and dreams of millions of people, not only in the Philippines but across the world. His election signified the universal nature of the Catholic Church and its commitment to serve all people, regardless of their background or nationality. When Pope Tagle appeared on the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica for the first time, the world held its breath. The crimson curtains parted, and there, standing in the glow of the afternoon sun, was Pope Leo XIII, the first Filipino pontiff in history. His presence was a symbol of hope, a beacon of light shining in a world often clouded by darkness. As the crowds gathered in St. Peter's Square erupted in joyous cheers, the weight of the moment settled in. The new Pope's first words were not just a greeting, they were a message of unity, of faith, and of hope for the future. Pope Tagle's election was a turning point in the history of the Church, and his papacy was bound to be a transformative one. As Pope Tagle would not only be responsible for the spiritual leadership of over 1 billion Catholics, but also for guiding the Church through the challenges and complexities of the modern world. His vision was one of inclusivity and compassion, a church that reached out to all people, regardless of their social or economic status. It was a vision rooted in the teachings of Christ, a commitment to justice, and an unwavering faith in the transformative power of love. Inside the grandeur of St. Peter's Basilica, the ceremony of his ordination took place. Cardinal Tagle, clad in simple white vestments, walked toward the papal altar, his face etched with humility and purpose. Each step he took resonated with the weight of the task before him. The laying on of hands, a sacred tradition, took place one by one. Each cardinal approached the new pope, placing their hands upon his head, passing on the mantle of leadership and spiritual authority. This ancient ritual was not merely ceremonial, it was a powerful connection to the legacy of the apostles and a reminder of the continuity of the Church. The act of laying on of hands symbolized the transfer of spiritual authority from one generation to the next. As the cardinals placed their hands on Pope Tagle's head, they were not only entrusting him with the responsibilities of the papacy, but also affirming his role as a living link in the unbroken chain of apostolic succession. The significance of this moment was felt deeply by those present. It was a powerful reminder that the Church was more than just an institution, it was a living tradition, a body of believers bound together by faith and devotion. The final part of the papal inauguration was the anointing with holy oil, the chrism. This sacred oil, a blend of olive oil and balsam, represented the divine gifts of wisdom, understanding, counsel, fortitude, knowledge, piety, and fear of the Lord. As the oil was placed on Pope Tagle's forehead, his eyes closed and a sense of serenity washed over him. In that moment, it was as though the weight of the world was both pressing upon him and being lifted by the grace of God. He was not only a leader of the Church, he was a servant of God, chosen to guide the faithful with compassion, wisdom, and humility. The faithful, watching from all over the world, were filled with hope and reverence. For them, Pope Tagle was not just the leader of the Catholic Church, he was a symbol of what it meant to live out the values of Christ in the modern world. His papacy represented a new era for the Church, one where compassion, social justice, and inclusivity would take center stage. As he took on the immense responsibility of leading the Church, the faithful stood united in their prayers and support. Pope Tagle's journey was one of faith, service, and deep commitment to the Church's mission. From his humble beginnings in Manila to the highest office in the Catholic Church, his story was a testament to the power of faith and the transformative role of the Church in the world. His papacy was not just a new chapter in the history of the Church, it was a new beginning, one filled with the promise of hope, renewal, and a deep commitment to the teachings of Christ. As Pope Leo XIV, the first Filipino Pope, took his place at the helm of the Catholic Church, the world looked to him with anticipation. His leadership would undoubtedly bring challenges, but with the grace of God and the support of the faithful, Pope Tagle was ready to lead the Church into a brighter future. And for the people of the Philippines, this was a moment of deep pride and spiritual significance. Their son had become the shepherd of the world, a beacon of hope for all people.